Alrighty. Just want to let you know, those who were not here last week, you are in the second part of a mini-series. So, if you miss out, oh well. No. I'm actually going to review to get us here, because a mini-series does not work if you do not know what's happening, right? I mean, you come in and like, what's all these things happening? There's excitement, there's adventure, there's death, and there's life, and then you're like, what just happened? Why are we here? So it's called Reliance and Relationship. And last week was Trust and Faith. This week is Reliance and Relationship, give and take. And last week we looked at a guy named Stephen or Stephen in the New Testament. And what happens is that from that story, we learn, or I told you and you learn, of three things. And from the scriptures, these are the three things that we learned last week. It was a vertical relationship. We look up to the heavens. That's what Steve did when he was being stoned. He saw the glory of God, which is more like the majesty, the power, the strongness, the love, the care that we see in a capable God who can take care of us. And the third point, he says, Father, forgive them. And I retranslate that to say, no blame. So it was more of a hardship. It was more of a death. And we're saying that when we go through hardships and we go through tough times and we go through times that we don't know what's going on, we don't know how things are, it could be our health, it could be our situation, it could be family, it could be anything that just stresses us and gives us a hard time. And from those 3 points, we say, no matter what hard times you go through, look up to the heavens, see the glory of God, what He's capable of doing and helping you, and assess no blame to anyone. Be where you are and trust and have faith in God. And then, I didn't use this verse last week, but one of my favorite verses is from Proverbs chapter 3, verses 5 and 6. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not in your own understanding, and He will direct your path. And that's what last week is about. During the hard times, during the tough times, even when we might be facing death or when we know someone who's going through death, we look to God. We look upward in reliance to God. Okay, I'm finished. We can go now. Okay, that was the summary. This week, we're going to look at relationships, the give and take of relationship. But before we do that, I want us to, well, you don't have to. If you have your Bibles with you, I will be speaking from Proverbs, Proverbs 31. And it's one of those famous proverbs where they talk about a good woman. A good woman is hard to find. And it's very interesting. I looked up, the reason I'm telling you this is because in relationships, what we're gonna do is we're gonna focus, since today is Mother's Day, we're gonna have the focus on mothers. But this kind of, and that's why we're looking at Proverbs 31. But in relationship, I hope you can take away that some of the things that we focus on in mothers will also apply to everyone, all right? So in Proverbs 31, it's very interesting. I did not know this, but it was not written to the gals. Did you know that? It's not written for you, sorry. It was actually written, from what I understand, to the guys. So you guys are included today. Just in case you're worried, like, I'm not included, this is Mother's Day, they're going to talk about mothers all the time, they're going to talk about girls all the time, like, where do I get my shine? Wait till Father's Day, that's what you're going to get your shine. But anyway, you're included, because in Proverbs 31, well, generally the theme It's telling guys to avoid bad things. And so here is setting up a standard for guys to look for the right women. That's what's happening. See? So, guys, if you've never seen it that way, look it up and say, wow, these are the things I should look for. But that does not exclude you ladies and everyone else. It gives you a standard in which you can be that type of woman. So we can kind of look at it that way. So let's look at some of these things we have here. The focus on then, I'll just give you some of them because they're like, I had written down about like 10 of them, over 10 of them. So if you want the whole list, you can come and see me. It talks about how she's industrious. She gets up early in the morning, take care of the kids, makes breakfast, sews and make things. I go, wow, this is a very, how do you say it? Industrious woman, She provides food. She somehow managed to get food. For me, I'm so lucky. I live near Chinatown, so just a little envy on your end. But I can walk over to Chinatown and get fresh vegetables. Unfortunately, they do not have fresh beef. Did you know that? Beef. They have a lot of pork. They have a lot of chicken. They have a lot of fish. But when I look for beef, they're frozen. I don't get it. One of these days, maybe they'll find some fresh rib-eye steak. Oh, yeah. If you know where to get rib-eye steaks nearby, let me know. All right. But anyway, she provides the food. She goes about, gets things, makes sure everyone gets fed. It says there she has a good head for business. I'm kind of retranslating some of these things. She has a good head for business. She can go out and buy land. She's a good gardener. So the thing that I really want to emphasize is that it says that, you look, to talk about the guys. It said, if you look for a woman, good looks is all right. That's what it says. Good looks is all right. But if you can't find good looks, find a woman who fears God. Find a godly woman. That's like the verse. So the reason I give you these points is because when we go to Ruth, I think, it doesn't say it, this is my guess, Ruth exemplifies all these in Proverbs 31 because she had time to be with her daughter-in-laws for at least 10 years, And just in case you don't know the story of Ruth, I know we jump right into chapter 2, into the famous saying that I want to talk about later on. But basically, Naomi is an Israelite. And she and her husband, because of bad times, this is famine, went to another country called Moab. And there, unfortunately, and this is where we talk about relying on God, unfortunately, the husband dies and the 2 sons died that they had. And all that was left was Naomi and her 2 newfound daughter-in-laws. And so they've been there, they've been going through things, and I think in Ruth, one of the daughter-in-laws, she saw in Naomi a good mother, a good wife, a person who exemplifies some of the things that we talked about, to be able to take care of things, to be able to care, to be able to love, and to be able to provide. And so we get to this part where she goes back now. Naomi says, I'm going back to where I live, Everybody misses home, right? So I'm going back home. And as she proceeds to go back, the 2 daughter-in-laws follow her. And she's a good mother-in-law because she said, hey, you don't have to follow me. You're young. You can still get married. I'm too old. I can't give you kids anymore. You can't wait for the kids to grow up and get married to them. And I don't know what you're going to do. So why don't you go back and get married and have a prosperous life? Because I wish you well. And one of them, we don't know if it's the older one or not, says, okay, I'm going back. And so this is where we pick up here that you saw in verse 15, where he says, Yeah, right here on chapter 1, verse 15. So she said, Naomi says to her sister-in-law, she's gone back to her God, so why don't you go and follow her? And this is the famous saying that you would hear a lot of people quote. Wherever you go, I will go. Wherever you live, I will live. Your people shall be my people. Your God shall be my God. And so I think she says this because she had built a relationship with her mom, with her mother-in-law, to be able to say, I see in you the type of person that I want to hang around with, the type of person I still want to learn from, the type of person that loves her God because your God will be my God. And so I think that's the relationship that they had, this give and take, for which Naomi was be able to show Ruth how loving and caring and invested she was in her daughter-in-laws. So for us then, what can we take from this? How can we apply what we learned, what you heard today? Can we also, in our lives, have this little reliance and relationship in our life? Can we learn to trust God, have faith in Him, and allow Him to help us in our relationship with one another? And I think we can. And what I did was, I teach a Sunday school too. So I asked some of the kids, what does mom do for you that you would remember? I said, it doesn't have to be your mom. It could be any mom. And so this is what they came up with. She's a bargain hunter. Very wise with the money, so that's in the Proverbs. And if you're young, she helps with your homework. Yeah, and I know some dads help too, so we'll allow that to come in. She teaches you how to drive if you're old enough to drive. Some mothers don't do that, so don't feel bad. Then this princess, obvious, she cooks, she cleans the place up. I see a little hesitation. And then she cares for you when you're sick. That's very important. I know that when I get sick, my mom cares for me. I don't like to be cared for, but she cares for me. This is one of the things I want you to know. This is a side note, okay? Everyone has different personalities. When I'm sick, I like to be left alone. Just leave me in bed, let me sleep, let me take my medicine, and then I get well. But some people like to be babied, right? Are you all right? Can I get you something? Can I help you up? Do you want to walk to the bathroom? No, forget that part. So, not me. It's like, don't touch me, don't talk to me, just leave me alone. So, there's kind of different kind of caring. So mothers know this, right? Mothers know how to say, okay, I'll leave him alone, but I'll take care of her, type of thing. So, also, they said, take you to school. So, they probably take turns now in these days, take turns taking you to school. So now, that's what mothers did for us. Then I turned it around and said, what will you do for your mothers today, right? You're going to have some ideas. What will you do for your mothers? They didn't come up with very many. So anyway, I got, one says, give her some wine and leave her alone. I go, well, not all mothers drink wine, so, well, give her some tea, right? Herbal tea, kind of thing. Another idea was cook a meal. Now, I know some of you are too young to cook meals, so you can make pancakes or something, right? Make pancakes or something like that. Make toast or something like that. But cook a meal, and then someone says, help with the chores. You know, not help in the sense that volunteer to do some chores, you know. Oh, Mom, you've been doing this, I'm going to take care of that. But I think the best thing that we can do for our moms is to spend time with them. You know, there's this article that says, when mom says, I don't need anything, you know, what do they mean when I don't need anything? Right? It's like, I don't need a Ferrari, I don't need fancy stoves, I don't need a new iPhone 8 or whatever, I don't need all that. What's basically she's saying is, gifts are all right. You know, you can give me gifts, you can do things for me, but I just want your attention. I just want you to spend time with me. I just want you to tell me how you appreciate it and to thank me for the many hours I gave to you, right? I bore you, kind of thing. Well, I don't do it, but the moms do it. So I think we focus on moms, but I think if we look at this, it's for everybody. It's for everybody. You know, when we value our relationships, we spend time with people. We invest in them. We want to be able to say, I know who you are, I know your likes, I know your dislike, and I know you like to be kept away when you get sick, right? Don't bother me. Do not text Moon when he's sick because he'll just grunt and say, ugh, you know, kind of thing. So you kind of know the person, you kind of know what they're like, and you spend time with them. And then also, you're always willing to give to them and say, you know, I really appreciate the friendship that we have. I really like to be with you. And this is what people see. People see this in relationships. They know, they kind of sense and understand that you're really interested in them, that you really want to spend time with them. You can't hide it. It's part of this learning to build good relationship of giving to people. It's not something you can just say, well, hey, I'm your friend. How are you? Howdy, goodbye, have a good day, and that's it. I'll see you next time, right? People will know that, hey, I'm not sure if he or she cares for me. So, to summarize, I actually, if you look at reliance and relationship, it's a retake on love the God with all your heart, mind, soul, and body, and to love your neighbor or yourself. Reliance on God, loving God, and relationships in terms of loving one another. So I hope that this day when you go out, you will remember your moms, but also remember that you do need to rely on God, and you need to build relationships, because we are not an island by ourselves.